Poppin' guys, your boy Big Bro Dre, and I'm back with another one for y'all, man. In today's video, I'm gonna be telling you guys why you need to save some money before you go to WOCS. Let's get to the video. Alright guys, before we start anything, I always like to thank my supporters and everybody who ever subscribed to my channel, left a post on Instagram, left a post in the comment section, ever sent me an email or done anything for my channel, man. I appreciate you guys' support. You guys mean the most to me. Now, so you guys have been asking me this. I got about 3 emails. I was going to read one of them, but I kind of could just go off the top of my head about this because I should have discussed this a while back, but I didn't. So for all my newcomers, I'm Big Bro Dre, and I provide a lot of military content surrounding warrant officer life, military life, sometimes enlisted stuff. I might throw in a little basic training in there. I do some fitness stuff. So I invite you guys to join me on my journey, and I appreciate your support going forward. So you've been selected for WOCS, right? And the first thing other warrant officers will tell you is start saving your money. And you want to know why they telling you to save your money. Well, I'm going to give you 5 to 7 reasons. Let's see how many I got. I think I got about 7 reasons why you need to save your money before you go to WOCS. We're going to start with number 1. Number 1 reason why you need to save your money is because you don't have everything you're supposed to have on that freaking packing list. Alright? So when you get selected, they're going to give you a packing list. They're going to send it to you. Your attack officer is going to send you that packing list. Packing list is going to have a whole bunch of stuff on it. Some of it you're going to use, some of it you're not, some of it you're going to have for display or what have you, right? Most of that stuff you probably don't use on a daily basis, so you probably don't need to buy it, and CIF doesn't issue it. So you're going to show up to freaking WOCS without all the stuff you're supposed to have, and you're going to get in trouble for not having it, right? But you didn't save your money, so you can't even buy it. I dealt with this situation when I was at WOCS, and it wasn't me. Actually, one of my battle buddies asked me for some help, some money to help them out. They paid it back, but asked me for some money to help them out because they didn't have all that stuff for the freaking course, and they had to buy it before a certain amount of time. And I think it was like 72 hours from the date when they arrived to WOCS, and they didn't have the money to do it. So I helped them out a little bit. They gave the bread back and appreciated it or what have you. But you don't want to put yourself in that position to not have what you're supposed to have on your packing list. So that's the number 1 reason. Now, when it comes to stuff that you may not have, a lot of the typical stuff that people didn't have were like camelback bladders, or like some of their uniforms wasn't sewn on, and you had to sew it on, or you didn't have to, but it just was more feasible because you don't have time to be putting it on every damn morning. Your name and your rank. So you just sew it on and you leave the patch in the middle blank with the fuzzy so that you can interchange your WOCS rank and your whatever ranks you need to change out throughout the cycles. So that's the number 1 reason, is because you're going to have to pay for some CIF stuff that you don't have. Now, if you buy that stuff beforehand, that works even better because you come to the course with stuff ready to go. All right? So that's the number 1 reason. Number 2 reason that you need to have some money at WOCS is because you're going to buy 2 items. 2, count them, 2 items. I'm not going to tell you what those items are because they're items that are synonymous with the course and they're a secret to the course. You'll know once you get there. What I will do is give you a little clue. One of them you wear and the other one you share. Alright? I'm going to say that again. One of them you wear and the other one you share. Now, depending on how much of these items you want to buy, now that's where it gets a little pricey. One of the items you probably only gonna buy 1 to 2 of them, man. The cost per each item for this 1 to 2 item, the one you wear, it's probably gonna cost between $10, $15, maybe $20 at the most per item. So if you buy 2 of them, you'll spend no more than $40 on that item. Now the other one you buy, right, could cost between $7 and $18 is the average cost. So let's just say for a square number that these items cost 10. You're gonna want at least 5 of these. I messed up and I only got 5, right? And it's something that I shared with people that meant a lot to me. Like I gave one to the person that saluted me first. I gave one to my very best Army friend and just a good friend overall to me, Williams. So I gave him one. I gave one to somebody else, and then now I'm stuck. I only have the one that I have left. I can't even give no more away because I don't have any more. So it'll be in your best interest if they cost $10. You probably gonna want at least 10 of them. So you're gonna end up spending like $100 on that. Now, these two purchases are not obligatory. They're not mandatory. There's nothing saying that you have to buy this shit. But you're going to want to buy it because it's going to be special to you because you went through the course, you deserve to have it. And you're going to want to give this stuff to people to let them know that you care enough about them to give them a piece of this that belongs to you and it's a piece of yourself. So the wear and share items, you're going to buy that. So you're good. Let's say you're going to spend about $200 on the wear and share items. All right. So you're going to want to have that money set aside for you when you get to the school. All right. All right, the number 3 reason, and this probably should have been number 1 because it's probably the most important reason, is think about it. So you're a non-commissioned officer or you're enlisted, right? Or you're a non-commissioned officer or you're enlisted. And you transition over to be a warrant officer. What's the first thing you got to do when you're thinking about graduating warrant officer candidate school? You're going to have to change your uniform structure. So officer uniforms and NCO and enlisted uniforms don't look alike. So you're going to have to change the pants because you're going to have to, that's going to cost you some money. You're going to have to change the top. That's even going to be a lot more difficult as well because we have the new pink and green uniform. I forgot what they're called, the actual term for them. The new pink and green uniform is coming in right now and everybody's buying those. So I'm pretty sure they're going to give you the option to either change, at least this year until October 2021, I think. They're going to give you the option to change the uniform, which is going to cost you between $150 to $250. I think it was about $200 to change everything I had to change on it, as far as the shoulder boards and the pants and stuff like that. It was like $200. Or you can go ahead and, if you just want to bite the bullet now, and buy the pink and green uniform. That's going to be a little bit more. You're going to have to buy it eventually, because that's one thing I didn't talk about. You're going to lose your clothing allowance. So if you've been getting that enlisted or non-commissioned officer clothing allowance every year on the anniversary of your enlistment date, you won't get that as an officer. Not even warrant officers get that. No officers get that clothing allowance. Now, with that said, at the end of your graduation of warrant officer candidate school, you're going to get $600 clothing allowance, and that'll be the last time you receive clothing allowance for the rest of your career, unless they kick you out and you return as an NCO or enlisted member. All right, so that freaking pink and green, I did some research on it, and I think the cheapest you can get everything for, from I forgot the website. I put it in the comment section or something like that. The cheapest you can get that uniform for, I think, is about $720. And that's the cheapest. Like, it's tough to get it anywhere cheaper than that without cutting corners. So think about that when you guys are putting your money to the side. You're going to have to save money to change your uniform out or buy another uniform. We already up to a grand easy, and I ain't even talking about my last and my favorite. I said I had 5 to 7, but I think I only got 4. But my last one is my favorite because you're going to need this too. So this one is probably the cheapest one, but it's probably the most important one to you coffee drinkers like me. So the United States Army Warrant Officer Association, a lot of the sponsorships that they receive come from the Warrant Officer Candidate School, and this is by way of fundraising. Now, this also is not obligatory. This is not obligatory. You do not have to donate to the Warrant Officer Association. But donating to the Warrant Officer Association is beneficial to you as well, and I'll tell you why. So when you first get the WOCS, you're not going to be able to drink coffee for at least 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how early your class earns the coffee privilege. So if you drink coffee and you go on the WOCS, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to wean your ass off of that coffee at least for a month before you go, so you won't get addicted like I did and had headaches and stuff all throughout school because I drink so much coffee. Well, when you finally are granted the chance to get coffee, the Warrant Officer Association, and if I'm wrong, if it's not the Warrant Officer Association, I'll figure out which. I still got the cup. I'm pretty sure it's the Warrant Officer Association though. So what I'll do is what I'm gonna tell you is you're gonna want coffee if you're a coffee drinker. Even if you're not, you're gonna be so tired because you don't have time to sleep like you want to in that hard ass bed that you're gonna want coffee. So what I'll tell you is, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for? When they change money out and they tell you it's supposed to be a certain price. Inflation. At the time I went to Warrant Officer Candidate School in 2018, the cost for the coffee privileges for Warrant Officer Candidate School was $20. And you don't have to pay it, but what they'll do is provide coffee for you guys every day while you guys are in school. And it was $20, I think, for the whole entire time you were in school, which is like maybe 5 weeks, but it's 3 more weeks. So pretty much 3.5 weeks that you're left in school when you actually get coffee privileges. It was $20. That's it. But that's a good investment for you to have coffee every day when you dying in them freaking classes and you trying to study, because ain't none of the tests open book. And I need to put a video out about that for all you open book studying people who open book stuff and try to learn during open book. None of them are open book. You got to pass those tests with your brain and memory and stuff like that. So what I'll tell you is set that money to the side. Now let's get to the summary of your cost. So let's wrap this thing up. The first cost you're going to have to accrue is if you didn't bring the majority of your CIF or some of your clothing and sales stuff that you got to buy in order to get through Warrant Officer Candidate School, i.e. socks, underwear that you didn't take, the certain type of underwear you're supposed to bring, t-shirts you don't have enough of or something like that. I will say the average person is usually going to spend between $250 and $500 on that. So I put that up on the screen and I'll start doing the calculations on that. All right. And then if you didn't, if you're planning on purchasing the freaking, the wear and share items, then you're going to spend, the average person is going to spend about $200 on that. So that'll be two or three of the wares and 10 to 15 of the shares. All right. So next, if you need to update your uniform, if you didn't do that before you came, and you shouldn't have, because your ass might not graduate, then you're out $250, $300 or whatever you spent on getting your uniform together, right? So let's say you just want to update your current ASUs, then that'll probably be about $200 at the most with inflation. So put that up on the screen. And if you wanted to buy the pink and greens, that'll be $700. But I'm not going to assume that everybody's going to get the pink and greens right now, because some people are just not going to get them until they're mandatory. So I'm going to just keep the ASUs up there, kind of keep it kind of on the low side, but on the high side, it'll be about $500, $600 more than what this price is at the end. Last but not least is your coffee privileges. If you want to drink coffee and you want to have it, and you're going to need that shit, man, you're going to be tired. People that wasn't drinking coffee before was drinking the hell out of coffee when we was in Warrant Officer Candidate School. So you're going to want to add that coffee privilege, which is $20, to your list of things you need to buy for a grand total of ding, 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 whatever that is up there. All right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me today, man, sticking with me. Got some big news coming up. Actually, my next video should be about me PCSing and where I'm going. I got some orders, and household goods just came for my shit yesterday. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.